Welcome to this list of some of the best young left attacking midfielders, wingers, inside forwards that Football Manager 2020 has to offer. And for this list, I'm focusing on players that are 20 years or younger. And remember, when it comes to saves in Football Manager, there's always a bit of RNG involved, which means every single player can get, especially the youngsters, can get some different stats whenever you boot up a new save. Their potential can also varies a bit. So make sure to scout them yourself to see how they look in your save. I'll be looking at these guys in quite a few different saves. And first off, we have Gabriel Veron. And unluckily for him, the save I have running right now is probably the save where he looks the weakest of the ones that I have checked him out in. But the good thing is he's 16 years old with these stats. These stats are fantastic for a 16-year-old. He has tremendous potential, and considering his age, he could be a very cheap signing. And as I said, in other saves, I've seen him much better than this, and he's still really good here. From Brazil, 16 years old, as I said, valued basically nothing. So if you can get the work permit fixed, you should be able to sign in for a pretty decent signings, for a pretty decent amount. Actually, let's check out. Maybe he has second. Nope. I was going to see if he had a second nationality, but he didn't. Let's move on then to Francisco Trincao. Probably butchered that name. Sorry. 19-year-old. And Football Manager says he can play on right side. I brought him in as a left side winger. He can clearly play very well in both positions, but for this list we're focusing on the left side. And at 19, his stats is starting to look really good. I mean, you can see there a 16, quite a few 15s and 14s, and he's only 19. So give him 2 or 3 more seasons to develop, he will start to look sensational. And look at this, he's wanted, but basically so many big clubs, Chelsea, AC Milan, Inter, every club wants him, so we are not the only one that have found him, so make sure to act quickly before somebody else signs him. But let's move on to the next guy, and it's Naci Unuvar, and that name that I probably butchered. Yeah, you will see the theme here, I'm always bad at pronouncing names, but he is another 16-year-old with sensational stats. I mean, it's not often you see a 16-year-old with a few 15s, 14s, a bunch of 13s. So much potential. He belongs to Ajax. Of course, Ajax is famous for developing youngsters, so you know that he's probably in good hands right now. But maybe it's time to take them out of Ajax's hands and bring them into your hands for even more. But yeah, if this guy can stay injury-free and go through the development at Ajax or maybe in your club, he will become a masterpiece. Next guy is another guy that had a little bit of unlucky stuff going on with the save that I chose. But from all the saves I booted up and scouted him, this is a save where he was by far the worst. And still, look at his age. This Frenchman is 15 years old. 15 years old with these stats. And as I said, I checked him out in quite a few saves. These are the worst stats he has had in any of those saves. And the lowest potential when I scouted him than he had in any of these saves. And still, he looks fantastic. You could probably get him pretty cheap. Because of his age, he's valued basically nothing. A diamond in the rough if he can stay injury-free. Just imagine all of his stats going up like 2 steps each year for... I mean, he will keep on developing for like 8-9 years before he reaches the peak if you do well with him. Could become sensational. Next on the list we have Callum Hudson-Odoi. You probably know him from the Premiership, from Chelsea, and this young potential. I mean, look at this. Last season he played 10 games. He even played 2 seasons ago. Got 2 games in the Premiership, and potential to become one of the best English wingers out there in a few seasons if he can develop well. I mean, his physical still already starting to look really good. His technical got a bunch of really good stay with quite a few 15s. Yeah, potential to become the next England winger. The big problem with Callum here is that he belongs to Chelsea and his value is already really high. you're really going to have to pay up a big chunk of money if you want to bring him into your team. Next off, we have Diego Lainez. This Mexican player is only 19 years old and already worth 3.2 mil, which is quite a bit considering his age, and that is plays in a smaller league. But if you can get the work permit sorted out, look at his stats at 19. You can see 15, 15, 15, 16, 15, 15, 15, 15. I mean, that's some really, really good stuff going on. One of the most talented, promising young wingers FM 2020 has to offer. Next up, we have Ansu Fati, and you heard his name before. He belongs to Barcelona. He's 16 years old with some insane stats. How often do you see a 16-year-old with stats like 16, 17, 15, 15, 15, 17, 15, 15? I mean, if you somehow could manage to steal him from Barcelona, it probably won't be easy, but if you can, you have the potential to be set on the left winger for not 10, but probably 15 years into the future. Well, we can say 10 years, because you're probably going to give him like 2 or 3 seasons to develop, but still like 12, probably 12 years, 12, 13 years, he would be a sensational player for your left side. Inverted winger or inside forward. I mean, steal him if you can. Can you get him from Barcelona? You have to try. Because, I mean, the stats and his age says it all. Now we're going to Barcelona's arch rival here, Real Madrid, and we find Rodrygo. And another famous, young, talented player. And his strengths, you can see from the stats, but he also has the strength that not only can he play as a winger, he can play as a striker. And you could retrain him to basically focusing on finishing. Look at the stats for a striker. Dribbling, like the important stats, 15, 14, 15, 14, 15, like all the stats that are important for a striker is right for this youngster. So the only problem you're going to have, do you want him to become a world-class winger, or do you want him to become a world-class striker? That is a luxury problem for you. But of course, for that to happen, you need to find some way to steal him from Real Madrid. Next up, we have the new famous English hope, Jadon Sancho, and he plays for Borussia Dortmund. Can play almost on every position here, but I would probably use him up here, or maybe if I'm depending on the formation, but definitely on the left side. And look at his stats at 19. He's already like in a position where he would take a first team spot in most teams. Maybe not the top 3-4 teams in the world, but I mean, think about it. You're probably right now managing a team where he would be fighting for a first team spot already at 19. The big problem is, of course, the price tag. 30 million euros already. Borussia Dortmund will probably have no plans at all to let him go. So you need to be very rich to get your hands on this name or this player. But if you manage to do, it would be fantastic. I mean, also perfect if you're an English club preparing for Brexit. Last name on the list is another famous young Brazilian at Real Madrid, is Vinicius Jr. And I mean, it's a luxury problem having both him and Rodrygo that can play in the same position. But this lad has the potential to become one of those fantastic Brazilian attacking players that goes down in history. I mean, just look at his physicals with 17 in acceleration, 16 in agility, 16 in pace. Like, his speed, so quick. And I mean, his personality with the driven, determination, the flair, the technique, the dribbling. I mean, he has the potential to become almost a complete package if you can develop him well. Because this lad has 5-6 years when his stats can keep on increasing before it reaches peak. And if you do it well, and a lot of these stats goes up 1 to 2 steps each year, or at least like every other year, I mean, you understand it yourself, you're going to be fantastic. But as so many other players on this list, it's going to be difficult to sign him. I mean, Real Madrid, the price tag is already 25 million euros. You're going to have to pay up a big time if you want him. But there you have it. That's my list of some of the best left side wingers in Football Manager 2020. But maybe I did miss some of your favorites. Let me know in the comments below, because I would love to scout any good left side wingers that you managed to find in any of your saves. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, press that like button. Are you new here? Subscribe for more FM20 content. And of course, check out my guides for other positions. There will definitely be a link to them in the description below. Thank you for watching.